All right. Just let my controller connect. What the fuck was that noise? Just subscribed. Are you fucking kidding me? Dalton. You know what, Dalton? I'm not a fan of you. For that. For that, that's the one reason. I cannot believe you, Dalton. God, this dude does not know how to fly. What the fuck? And yes, Dalton, I know you subscribed for a chug. But currently, the only thing I could chug for you is a PIB 0. Fuck. That's all I have on my desk. So there you go. What? Alright. To make this fair, I'm gonna go grab a beer. Alright, here's the deal. For all future subs, I have a Vicious Watermelon that is by Wicked Weed Brewing at 9%. So all future subs will involve this. But because you subbed too early, Dalton, you got a PIB. You got a PIB 0. Where? Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I have also live on YouTube, but I will go ahead and say that YouTube subscribes do not count. Why the hell you can't fly? Where? Oh my god. Dude. I think the hostiles have been holding Objective Alpha. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. I got a team. Nope, never mind. I do not have a teammate. A squad mate. Alright.
Hostiles have secured Alpha.
This is gonna be a run. This is gonna be a nice little run to A. How's everybody in chat doing? Everybody having fun? We'll try. I think we'll try to go wide and see what comes out of that. Saw a guy up there, up top. God, fuck.
Need a medic!
It doesn't help because I'm still like holding X. I'm so used to. I assume I'm used to Call of Duty. Oh my gosh. Medic coming? No. Of course there's no medic coming. Nobody plays a good medic in this game.
Be advised, limited reinforcements left. Objective Alpha is in enemy hands.
Gosh, we have not taken A. We have 39 redeploys left, and I don't know if we're going to be able to take A. I really don't. Damn it. gosh, dude. My gosh, dude. That's an L. That's an L. I don't think we're going to be able to take A. I'll be honest. What? Dude. This dude's name is John Wick, and he's not even like doing John Wick shit. That's crazy. Alright. Fuck it. Oh my gosh, dude. 5 redeploys left. That is a tank. With an AR, we are not going to try to challenge a tank. I just don't think it'd be smart. That's kind of weird having a dead body move.
New enemy sector is your target. Move in and secure.
Try to spawn in this guy. Oh my gosh, what's this another guy there? What's this?
Move to attack the marked objective. Half our forces. Let's stay alert.
I knew you had my back.
I could have sworn. I could have swore there. I really could have swore there.
We've got an enemy sniper located in the AO.
Chilling here. Wow. While we capture A. Just like that. That is a tank. Not engaging tank.
The enemy has secured Bravo. Be advised, the enemy has secured Bravo.
I know, bad aim. Bad aim. gosh, dude, I really thought I could make that. I really thought I could make that.
Medic!
Oh my gosh, I could have. I should have kept firing. I should have kept firing. Oh my gosh, he's getting me. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. This guy can get out.
Let's go! Come on!
Damn it, dude. Damn it, dude. Fuck. Can't even get revived. Can't even get revived. Triple kill. I cannot believe I didn't check my ammo there. Cannot believe I didn't check my ammo there. Ah! Wow, that is a lot of challenges. Dude, I didn't even get to look at the challenges I had, or the challenges that I was doing, before it just decided to throw me into another game. That's crazy. Um... We have 4 minutes left on the print. 4 minutes left on the print. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing other than just chatting, other than just saying hi, seeing how everything's going. I did see that Mr. Daltino did resubscribe. How many? What's going on over here on YouTube? Nothing's happening on YouTube. I'm not surprised. YouTube is pretty much dead for me. YouTube's been dead. Oh, that's why I didn't see it on Twitch. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't think today would be the day that Dalton resubscribed. I just kind of figured I'd get on for a little bit. Get on for like an hour or something. And live stream. More or less. Kind of more in the hope that I think more in the hope that people would join and there'd be people to talk to in here. But it does in fact seem like there is no one to talk to currently. So there's that. Which is something I didn't inherently plan for. No one being here. I mean, I kind of did. I kind of figured no one would be here. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this.
Coming up next is this year's Summer Anthem Radio Jam by Ryan Upchurch.
And there was a time when I would drive to the
Hi everyone, Donut here. Today we're
Let's
going to
just
head
watch
over
some
to
Donut
Maryland, where
Operator.
Police responded to a bus stop for a guy that was sitting there loading a handgun.
That could make someone very angry.
When the first officer gets there, he tries to talk to the guy, but instead of showing both hands, our suspect reaches into a bag, pulls out a handgun, and racks it in front of police. The problem is the officers clearly don't want to shoot him, and they spend the next several minutes trying to convince this guy to put the gun down. This could end up being a sewer slide by a cop. Let's find out, but first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Raycon. I think I might have found my favorite Raycon product. Bone conduction headphones. Look, they don't go over your ear holes, so you can still hear all the things around you. I'm a big fan of situational awareness, especially when I'm out on the road jogging or I'm at a public gym. Basically anything outside, but I'm also addicted to Dungeon Crawler Carl right now, and I can't stop listening to it. Why is the voice actor and story so good? But, like I said, at the same time, I like hearing on what's going on around me. I can listen to the wacky antics of Carl and Princess Donut for 13 hours straight
The
on one
3D
charge.
print is done. All right. So, if you're wondering what I was 3D printing, it was actually a. Oh, that works so well. It was a screw-in headphone stand, so that I have a place to put my headphones. Look at that. Look at that. That's a. Oh, we'll switch to this one. Look at that. So there are two parts to it. This screw down here that I printed, and then there's also the actual headphone stand itself. And we are now gonna screw it on to the desk. I dropped a previous 3D print being a whistle. Now, we are actually gonna look for something else to print. And I think I have a pretty good idea of what to do here. It's still saying completed. Alright, where is should be wow, I got a lot of stuff open. Cause like I don't know, I already have 3D printer open. I don't know. I'm just happy about my little 3D print here. I think it's very cool. And I'm currently looking at other things to print. I'm trying to find something that's like mostly that's like actually gonna be useful. Um let me clear the 3D printer entirely. then we can slice this and print it. Oh yeah, yeah. We gotta go here, go there, slice it, and now. What's going on? All right. Now we should be able to print. This is the what's going on now is the prison the White Noise Rainbow Six Siege Charm. That will be the next print that is going to happen. And hopefully but now the main goal, or the main thing is, I have my nice little headphone stand that I just printed, and we are sending something else to the printer because what's a better way to waste time than to print stuff in my new 3D printer? You can see all these other prints that I've been kind of looking at. I don't have an account for this website yet.
That's right, 13 hours battery life, and they are IP68 waterproof and dust proof, so no sweat, rain, whatever, doesn't matter, won't hurt them. Raycon gives you that premium sound without the premium price. It's got quality that goes toe-to-toe with the big brands at half the cost. Over 3 million people already use Raycon, and they back it with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so there's zero risk. Guys, you know school's starting if it hasn't already started for you. You got one of those mouthy little teenagers who doesn't listen and has headphones on all the time? Well, look, leave their ear holes open so you can scream at them with the Raycon Bone Conduction headphones. The Bone Conduction headphones are the perfect back-to-school companion. Click shooting is not illegal in itself to do at your home. I think that counts as brandishing if you're sitting at a public bus stop, and it also means you're probably not up to anything good. When the first officer arrives, he finds our suspect sitting on the bench with another completely random dude who apparently picked the worst possible place in Maryland to wait for a bus.
Out.
Hey, sir. Sir, can I see your hand? Can I see your hand? No, 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 no.
All right, hold on. Let's try to examine this.
Can I see your hand?
I'm guessing this guy didn't make a move, so I'm guessing we're talking about this
No, no,
guy.
no, no, no.
I do not see hands going for anything on either guy. I mean, this guy has his hands down in his lap. Maybe that's what they're looking at. But by the way the gun is pointed, we're talking about this gentleman here. And just from my point of view here with this kind of blurry screenshot, don't necessarily see him reaching for anything.
No.
But
Hand.
just because you don't fully see someone reaching for something doesn't mean they aren't reaching for something here.
3 Victor 10, we got one at gunpoint at the bus stop.
The officer immediately asks to see both of these suspects' hands, which is a pretty reasonable request considering someone just called police and said there's a guy playing with a gun at a bus stop. Instead of doing that, the suspect reaches into the bag sitting next.
Okay, so that's what we missed. He reached into the bag. And from a known point of view, you wouldn't expect anything to be in. Like, most people don't have anything in the bag, but I can tell you, just me personally, my company does not allow me to have a gun on me, let alone the kind of work that I do is labor intensive. There's a lot of leaning over, and I always have a gun near me, but I don't always have a gun on me. So my gun, when I go to work, usually does in fact stay in my bag. There's always a gun in my backpack. I don't always carry it on me, appendix style, like I currently am while I'm sitting here talking to y'all, but there is a gun always near me. In this case, there's actually a lot of guns near me, actually.
Next to him. Also, understandably, the officer doesn't like where this is going, so he draws his service weapon and starts backing towards his patrol car so he can put something solid between himself and the guy digging around inside the bag. Remember, kids, a car is not very good cover. But if you have to hide behind a car, at least be behind the engine block. Okay, you remember that other dude sitting directly beside the guy waiting for the bus? My man disappeared from that bench like he was Chris Angel. I don't know where the bus is going, but dude decided walking there was definitely safer than this cluster that he's caught in right now. Let's switch over to another officer's body camera because we get a much better view of what our suspect is actually doing.
No. Hand.
Okay.
Hand. Drop the hand. Just drop it. Just drop it.
From this angle, you can see why everybody is so concerned. The suspect still isn't showing one of his hands, and it appears he's either holding onto something or reaching for something while multiple officers are telling him to drop whatever he has. And then we get this response.
Just drop it. Guns facing towards the shopping center. So beware of crossfire. We have a gun. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Oh, there goes the peaceful option. I do believe he ain't dropping shit. And a second later, we finally get a look at exactly what he's holding. And it's not good. That is very clearly a handgun, and you can actually see and hear him cock it while officers are standing in front of him, repeatedly telling him to put it down.
So beware of crossfire. We have a gun. Drop the gun!
We're going to switch back over to...
I don't fully understand this line of thinking of pulling a gun on someone who is trained, let alone not just trained. Like, obviously police officers are fully trained in how to handle situations like this, but there's also going to end up being a lot more cops here eventually, and just having a handgun, pulling a handgun on a officer is probably the quickest way to see the afterlife. I'm just saying.
To the first officer because there's a small moment that I really liked. It was tactically efficient. It was high speed, low drag, you might say.
Welty, you got. Welty, you talk. Welty, you talk. Hey, get online. Don't shoot from depth.
Basically, he's telling the other officer to get on the same line instead of shooting from behind another cop, because turning your coworker into accidental cover is generally frowned upon. Blue on blue is bad. And even after all of this, the officer keeps trying to talk the suspect down.
I think I play too many video games because I'm looking at this officer laying down behind his squad car while the other officer is on top of the hood, and I immediately think this is a Rainbow Six Siege angle. Like, you can clearly see the bad guy right here. This is the target. This is the enemy. And this officer has gone prone with his head barely peeking out, probably with his gun up on a nasty angle to take out this individual. Like, all I see is Rainbow Six Siege here.
Please work with me, okay? I don't want to do that.
You can hear the suspect getting increasingly difficult. He's obviously having some type of episode. He's telling the officers that they want to hurt him and basically challenging them to do it. The officer, though, is not taking the bait. He stays calm. He tells the guy that nobody wants to hurt him and continues trying to convince him to put the gun down. At this point, the police have an armed guy who has already refused multiple commands, openly told them he isn't dropping the gun.
Look at
and
how
he's
many
there challenging
officers are there.
while holding it. And despite all of that, they're still trying to talk him into putting the gun down as
like,
more units.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, just from my point of view, pulling a gun on an officer is probably one of, if not the stupidest thing that you could do. Because when you really think about it, within 10 minutes, maybe not even 10 minutes, these officers went from two officers to what was that? 5 cars? 6 cars? So you went from 2 officers to 8 officers. Minimum 8 officers pointing their guns at you, who are trained to handle these situations, trained to take out the threat, trained to make those quick decisions. And you're just gonna sit there with your hand on your gun and be like, nah, man, I ain't doing nothing.
Begin arriving on scene. From here, the conversation continues for a while, with the suspect eventually telling police that he wants them to leave. Well, buddy, I don't think they are going to leave.
Just tell me your first name. We're not going to go anywhere, partner. Just please. Please. We're going to stay right here with you. Don't do anything with that gun.
The officers explained that they can't do that because the situation has already gone way too far. And I mean, holy shit, man, what did you expect? The police didn't randomly show up because you were sitting at a bus stop eating a sandwich. Someone called them because you were allegedly loading a handgun, and when they arrived, you pulled the handgun out and repeatedly refused to put it down while having a manic/drug or both episode. The officers do continue trying to talk him into surrendering until the suspect makes the decision that ends this entire incident. The suspect ultimately raises the gun in the direction of one of the officers. And as you would have expected it, multiple officers opened fire. It was something like out of The Godfather. Something else worth paying attention to happens immediately afterward. Once they determine the threat is no longer active, you can hear officers calling for everyone to hold their fire. The threat stopped moving, so the shooting stopped. Let's switch over to another body camera when officers move in.
hands are clear! His hands are clear! Moving! Moving! I have the gun! I have the gun!
Gun is secure.
Direction of sitting at a bus stop eating.
We're not going to go anywhere, partner. Just please. Please. We're going to stay right here with you. Don't do anything with that gun.
The officers explained that they can't do that because the situation has already gone way too far. And I mean, holy shit, man, what did you expect? The police didn't randomly show up because you were sitting at a bus stop eating a sandwich. Someone called them because you were allegedly loading a handgun, and when they arrived, you pulled the handgun out and repeatedly refused to put it down while having a manic/drug or both episode. The officers do continue trying to talk him into surrendering until the suspect makes the decision that ends this entire incident.
Damn.
The suspect ultimately raises the gun in the direction of one of the officers. And as you would have expected it, multiple officers opened fire. It was something like out of The Godfather. Something else worth paying attention to happens immediately afterward. Once they determine the threat is no longer active, you can hear officers calling for everyone to hold their fire. The threat stopped moving, so the shooting stopped. Let's switch over to another body camera when officers move in.
Fire! Hold fire! Approaching with you, Welty. Approaching with you, Welty. His hands are clear! His hands are clear! Moving! Moving! I have the gun! I have the gun!
Gun is secure.
That is crazy.
Get him down.
Hey, get a med kit. Med deck, med deck, med deck, med deck. His other arm.
Completely insane.
And here is the handgun sitting right beside him on the bus stop bench. The officers secure the weapon, move in, and handcuff the suspect, and then immediately transition from shooting at him to trying to save his
Completely
life.
insane.
Once he's secured, officers begin providing first aid until EMS can take over. The suspect was ultimately pronounced dead at the scene. A handgun was recovered and secured, and despite this entire thing happening at a public bus stop with random people nearby, including the guy that called, no pedestrians or bystanders were injured. Hell yeah. And that's all I have for you fine people today. If you want to help support the channel, go on over to donutoperator.com. Subscribe to Pepper.
Alright, so here's the thing. I was mainly the main goal for tonight was to get to 1 hour. And we have just surpassed 1 hour. Now, if this was a normal streaming night, I would have my buddies and we would be playing Rust, or we would be playing Rainbow Six Siege, or something along those lines. But unfortunately, for the viewers at home, my friends are not playing any games tonight. And I, personally, do not feel like playing more games tonight. I mainly just wanted to get to an hour of streaming to get me to that goal of being at 40 hours for the month. And if I can, I will be live tomorrow playing more games and doing more random stuff. But I think we can like hold out for, let's see, how long do we got on this? So our next 3D print is almost done. We can actually pull it up here. And it just finished. We got our tray. I really need to get a scraper. Ah! that tray on? Yeah, the tray's on. Alright, let's. Ooh. So, I will have to sadly say that this print did not come out as well as I hoped. But that doesn't mean I ain't gonna share with you the results. This one, I didn't add any support to it. And I think that's mainly my fault. I probably should have added some support to this 3D print. And because I didn't add any support to this print, it is pretty much a failure. It does not look like what it's supposed to look like. And I can try to trim it, but there's not going to be a lot that I can do to save this 3D print. Unfortunately, that is part of the 3D printing game. Some things you print will come out great. One of them being this little kind of karambit that I printed a couple days ago. Another one that came out very well will be this can holder. In case you ever wanted to hold your Grizzly cans up on your visor, you know, or something along that in your car. I also have a load of ducks that I printed. Tiny, adorable little ducks. But every once in a while, like with these two, you run into a failed print. This one actually being this, but just it did not finish. Something happened with the filament. What got caught up and decided it wasn't going to feed anymore. So this is also a failed print. And apparently this Rainbow Six Siege logo also ended up being a failed print. Which is sad. It's sad. It's sad to have a failed print like this because I didn't know that I was printing this way. And if I did, I would have went into the software and added some supports. But because I did not add any supports to it, we have a failed 3D print. Like the skull came out pretty good, but the R6 logo did not. And that is a sad thing to admit, that the Rainbow Six Siege logo did not come out as a completed print. But there's always next time. Either way, that, I think we are over our 1 hour goal for the night for going live. If you want to catch me live tomorrow, then tune in tomorrow to Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. I now officially go live on all three. Possibly working on TikTok as well to go live on. So I will be going live on 4 separate platforms. Yes, 4. But for the time being, I'll see you guys